Hi guys, Brown here, and welcome back to part 14 of my F1 2019 career mode here today for the Italian Grand Prix. I'm sorry about the long wait between the last video in Belgium and this one. I've been very busy recently, so to get these videos edited and out is quite hard at the minute, especially for the fact I'm starting college soon as well. So I'll probably only be able to get one video out a week, but I'll try my best to get ahead on uploads, so there is still 2 videos a week, hopefully. But we're here in Italy, and I love this track. How can you not love Italy? It's one of my stronger tracks. And then we've also got the upgrades coming as well. So the ERS upgrade, remember we did back in Germany, I believe that was, and some other upgrades that we did at the end of Belgium. Those all failed, the one we did in Belgium. You also notice that the race load up is going on in the background. That's because my editing software has just decided to do its own thing again. So it wouldn't let me import the R&D and the qualifying into the timeline to edit on. It would only let me do the race, so I kind of got this longer video that's just a race, so you can see just going through the grid order. We'll get into the strategy, and hopefully for the next race in Singapore everything will be running smoothly again. So as we look at the strategy, it's just going to be a one stop from the soft tyre to the mediums. Going to put a bit more fuel in the car because I don't know, I just like to push a bit more. Let's go to the 5 red lights here in Monza. It's lights out and away we go. It's Bottas v Leclerc into turn 1, and you can see us in the background. We're trying to make up places as we go down the very long run into that chicane, and we're going to get down the inside there of one of the Red Bulls and Kimi Raikkonen. We're going to try and go around his outside, but we're squeezed out there, heading through the Curva Grande. I think that's what it's called. You can see Raikkonen, and I believe it is Verstappen, side by side. We're alongside Verstappen and we're alongside Kimi as well, and we've got them both into the second chicane. That's a lovely move, and now we can get our head down and chase after Lucas Weber and Lewis Hamilton in the other Alpha and the Mercedes. Back up front, you can see Bottas, it's from Leclerc, then from Vettel, then from Hamilton, Weber, then us, then it is the Red Bull of Verstappen, then Kimi Raikkonen in the other Alfa Romeo as well. Here comes, actually it's Vettel, sorry, ahead of Leclerc. Here comes Vettel now on the back of Valtteri Bottas, heading through the Parabolica. Everyone coming through your screen now, you can see there's a move there in the background with the Racing Point on the Haas, or I think it's Magnussen, as they're side by side heading down the pit straight. And now the other Racing Point looking to make a move on Nico Hülkenberg in the McLaren. I can see he thinks better of it there, heading down into turn 1. They all sit by each other, but I think it's Perez is still side by side with Magnussen in the Haas. But back up front, we skip on a couple laps. Here comes Lucas Weber, then on Lewis Hamilton. They head through the Parabolica. We've caught the back of the pair now as we head down to turn 1. Here comes Lucas Weber. He's catching, he pulls to the outside. He's side by side of Hamilton. We're just kind of sitting back here looking where we can get past. And now they're side by side through the chicane. I tried to get up the inside of Hamilton, but we got a great exit there. Hamilton actually on the mediums. We haven't managed to get past Hamilton though. Tried to go around his outside, have him on the exit, that didn't work. But here we come, we've pulled to the outside, we've got Hamilton, and now around the outside of Lucas Weber into the second chicane. In a bit of a moment there on the exit, the back end stepped out, and a little bit of oversteer, but we've got them both very quickly, and now we can get chasing after Bottas and the two Ferraris. As we head down towards Ascari, you can see Weber in the background. He's still right behind us, still looking to re-overtake us, and he's gonna try that, but he locks up and Hamilton goes through. And this is Verstappen and Raikkonen again going at it. Raikkonen not finished with Verstappen yet clearly, but Verstappen just pulls away on the straight. That Alpha not got a straight line speed, as Hamilton has a pop of us now heading through Parabolica. We run a little bit wide on the exit, and now we've got a mammoth challenge of keeping a Mercedes behind us. This is going to be hard. Where's Hamilton going to go? He's going to go to our inside. In fact, no, he's not. He's going to come under pressure from Lucas Weber, and Weber's gone down the inside of him after going around his outside, got him on the exit. They're still side by side, and now through the Curva Grande, round the outside. Lucas Weber's trying on the Mercedes of Hamilton, but he hasn't pulled it off. He's had to back out of it. Hamilton just got way too much straight line speed compared to the Alpha. Heading through the two Lesmos. Second one, you can see there, you can see Bottas pulling away from the two Ferraris. It's Leclerc ahead of Vettel now, and here comes Vettel, pulls to the outside of Charles Leclerc, heading into Parabolica, and he's got the job done. Charles Leclerc isn't going to have that though, surely not, as they head through Parabolica and onto the pit straight. Here comes Charles Leclerc. He's catching his teammate, he's catching him, he pulls to the inside. They're side by side now going into the first chicane. Vettel's going to have to hold his line right round the outside. We'll have the inside line for the second part of the chicane. Leclerc will have the better exit though, he's on the racing line. And they're still side by side as they go through the Curva Grande. They're still side by side, this is amazing. They're still side by side. I think Vettel's going to have to give in here. No, in fact, Vettel's on the inside. He's going to squeeze Leclerc. They're still going at it. Leclerc on the inside, heading into the Lesmos. He's finally got the job done. Here we are, skipping on a lap later. We're not done there, because here comes Sebastian Vettel on his teammate. Heading down, he's getting closer and closer, and he pulls one way. Where is he going to go? He pulls to the outside. And now round the outside into turn 1, he has the inside line for turn 2. Leclerc has the better exit though, as they go side by side through the Curva Grande yet again. Vettel sailing on his outside of Charles Leclerc. They're still side by side, and while this is going on, we're just catching the two Ferraris. But Vettel looked like he got the move done, and then just bit too kind to Charles there, let him back through, and Charles stays ahead. And you know, Matteo Binotto is just pulling his hair out over this, but it's great to see, rather than just seeing like we did in the Belgian Grand Prix, just having to pull over and let him by. But here comes Vettel again. Leclerc saw it coming and covered it beautifully there, the Monegasque, as they head through Ascari and out up towards the Parabolica. Where's Vettel going to go? He goes to the outside of Charles Leclerc. You can see how close we're getting, in fact. As round the outside of Parabolica, what a move if he can pull this one off. He's still there, Sebastian Vettel is. As they cross the line, they're still side by side, and that is a lovely move by Sebastian Vettel. I'll give him that one. But Charles isn't done there. He's going to come back at him again, down the inside into the chicane. He's got the outside line and the cleaner exit on the racing line, going through turn 2 and around the Curva Grande, and he's backed out of it. Vettel covered him off very well there. And now Charles is going to have to wait. One lap later, we go again on the pit straight. Here comes Charles Leclerc, pulls to the inside. Vettel tried to squeeze him out, that's not going to happen. Down the inside, and now round the outside at turn 2. and they're still side by side on the exit, and through the curve of Grande they go. This time Leclerc is not giving Vettel an inch of space, and he squeezes in there, and Charles does get past Sebastian Vettel. Heading through the two Les Mis they go, and now it's skipping on towards Ascari. Here comes Vettel back at Leclerc, and re-overtakes him, or does he? Leclerc still is there, but he can't get close enough to stay ahead. But here he comes heading up towards Parabolica. You can just see how close we've got in all of this battling. We're about 2.5 seconds behind, I'd say, maybe a little bit less. But here Leclerc comes again. In fact, he's going to go into the pits, maybe try something different on the strategy, and this has kind of left us to deal with the other Ferrari of Vettel. Is going to go onto another set of the soft tyres, so Leclerc going for the 2-stop, and Ferrari kind of thinking that they don't want their drivers battling maybe, and there's a glitch in the pit lane you might have seen there. Just someone's tyres right on the pit exit. You'll see that again in a sec when we make our stop. As here we come now, we've actually caught the back of Sebastian Vettel. What can we do here? We're catching, but we're not quite close enough as we break into... Oh, we get very close there as we break into Parabolica. Is Vettel going to pit here? Yes, he is. We're going to follow him into the pits though. And let's see if maybe, possibly, we can beat him out of the pits. It'd be quite good if we did. Obviously, the Ferrari pits are much closer than the Toro Rosso pits. But let's see what we can do. Here we go onto the medians. We're doing the 1-stop, and we come out side by side with Sebastian Vettel. And the game's actually glitched out there. There's another look at the tyres I was on about, and kind of made us stop, and Vettel just waved him through and just drive through us. But we have come out just behind Vettel, and the battle is definitely on now. There's serious points up for grabs here, as there goes Vettel on the back of Devon. Butler flies past him. Butler actually, you may have heard Crofty discussing it before the race, got engine penalties. As we skip on then a lap later, here we come, we're going to try and get the slipstream off of him. That's why I kind of looked like I was following him into the pits. But a lap later we can see we're just catching in our battle to catch Sebastian Vettel. And here we go then, on the back of Sebastian Vettel. We're going to pull to his inside, and we've got the job done heading into Ascari. It was at this point in the race that I didn't realise Leclerc was actually on the 2-stop, so I was like, I need to clear Vettel quickly and push after Leclerc. But of course Leclerc ended up pitting again, and he also had mechanical issues as well in this race. But here we come then, Vettel's just going to come straight back at us here. Leclerc into the pits for his second and final stop, so Ferrari have completely shafted him there. As here comes Vettel. Is he close enough? No, he's not. You may have seen in the background there Lewis Hamilton coming out of the pits. Here comes Charles Leclerc coming out of the pits now. As here we come then, trying to keep the prancing horse behind us. Toro Rosso only got one podium, and that was here at Monza in 2008. And it was Sebastian Vettel that day that got him the podium. It was a win, in fact, in the wet. What a day that was. And Toro Rosso could maybe well be reliving it here. We've got great pace in this race, but let's not get ahead of ourselves just yet, as here comes Vettel, flies past us there, round our outside, and he's got us heading into Ascari. And we're just going to have to wait now as we head up towards Parabolica. Can we get close? He is pulling a bit of a gap there, Sebastian Vettel. You can see Hamilton in the background catching us now at a very rapid rate. He's on much fresher tyres. But here we come then. Can we overtake the 4-time world champion? We're catching him, we're catching him, we're catching him. Where we're gonna go to his outside. We're gonna sail around his outside into turn 1, and we've gone very deep. We've gone over the sausage curbs there, and now Vettel's gonna have a run at us, heading round the curve of Grande and into the second chicane on the track. Is he gonna do anything here? He pulls to our inside. No, he doesn't. Yes, he does. In fact, this is an awful camera angle. You can see him there on our inside. We've squeezed him out. A terrible camera angle there to show. As skipping on then, this is Lucas Weber retiring from the race. So he had such a good start. Obviously, we were battling with Hamilton, but he is out as we skip on another lap 19 now. And here comes Vettel on our inside. And we're going to try and go round his outside. We've gone very deep. We've gone over the sausage curbs again there. And we're kept in ahead. Not as severely as the first one was. But as you can also see there, Lewis Hamilton is on the back of us now. So we've got ourselves a sort of top 3 train. And there goes Lewis Hamilton round the outside of Sebastian Vettel like he did in the real life Grand Prix. So here comes Lewis Hamilton overtaking us now to our outside, and he's going to just sail past us here. But now let's cue the music and get ready for what is going to be a very intense battle, an 8-lap battle with Sebastian Vettel for what could be our first F1 podium in this career. Let's see if we can do it. Vettel's on our outside. He's now going to go sailing round our outside, but we've cut him off and he's going to have to back out there. As here now, I think he's going to try it again, and yes he is. This is a lap later. He's going to try it again. There's nearly contact there, and now round the outside at the parabolica, he's going to try it again, but we're defending him off beautifully there into parabolica, going so tight to the apex that he's got no hope of getting past us. And here he comes again on our outside, flies past us, and that might be the dream over. Or is it? We're going to try and go to his outside, but no we're not. We're going to back off and we're going to see what we can do through the Curva Grande and into that second chicane. So we're in his slipstream. There goes Hamilton, and here we go. We're going to swap him the dummy twice and go right round his outside. We're going to squeeze him into the apex. He's going to completely back out of it, but that hasn't really worked because here he is again, getting past us there. And now we're going to try and maybe go down his inside, but we're just too far back there. But here we come then. This is going to be one of the greatest moves if we try and get it done. We're catching him, we're catching him, we're catching him, it's closing, it's closing, it's closing. We're going to go down his inside, heading into the first corner, and we've got the job done before we even get there on the German driver. But here he is a lap later, re-overtaking us. He locks up there. We're going to try and go round his outside, down his inside for the second chicane. We're still side by side with him. We've just got our nose ahead there, but here he comes again, back down the inside of us. We're going to sail round his outside, and he's going to back out of it here, and this might well be it, but never say never. You've seen the battle so far in this race, and not only just with Vettel and myself, but Vettel with Leclerc as well. Here he comes, pulls to our outside, heading into Ascari. I'm not giving up, Vettel's not giving up, but eventually he has to, as we very late on the brakes, Danny Rick style, into that chicane, and we've stayed ahead of him. But here he comes again then, on lap 26 to 27, tries to go round our outside, there's contact there, and we stay ahead of him, we get the better exit being on the racing line. And now here he comes again, heading through the Curva Grande, and now into the second chicane. bit premature commentary there, but it's too far back to do anything. So here he comes down our inside into the Lesmos, through Lesmo 1 and now through Lesmo 2. We're still side by side, we're just holding on round his outside, and we've done it. Here he comes though, again to our inside, heading into Ascari. We're right on the ropes here, but he's backed out of it, and we've just stayed ahead of him there. And here we come a lap later, we've got down our inside this time, this isn't good. And now down our inside he goes, around the outside we go, get past him there. And now this is the penultimate lap. He squeezes us, there's contact, he tries to squeeze us off the track, and he very well does squeeze us off the track there, and that could be it. But it's not over yet, because here we come again. We're going to swap in the dummy twice, round the outside we go off the track a bit, and we get past Sebastian Vettel on the final lap then. Vettel's one last chance, we've squeezed him completely after we squeezed us, and we're going to round the final corner, and we're going to take our first F1 podium in this career. We've done it.
On the day, and a driver who knows how to take advantage of that. It doesn't matter how much time you spend poring over the stats and planning strategies if you can't keep the pace, and our winner today showed they could do both.
So after a magnificent race, we can now see the drivers making their way to the podium. Once again, it's the Silver Arrows who take top spot, a well-earned victory for Mercedes. And who would you say is a contender for driver of the day?
Well, what a race. I'm drained after doing the commentary on that one. I was drained after I recorded it as well. Our first F1 podium, and what a style as well. Great style to get our first F1 podium, beating the Ferrari of Sebastian Vettel at Monza. It couldn't be any sweeter than that, and that's really helped us now, those 15 points, not only in the drivers but in the constructors as well. Let's go and talk to Claire about our podium.
Not a good race for Lucas. How do you think he'll be feeling about not finishing? Judging from today's race, it must be pretty hard to fend off Devon when he wants to pass. You were cutting your way through the field during the race. Everything went your way today. It looked like you had a really good strategy for the race. Great. Well, that's everything.
Well, cheers, Claire. I mean, you didn't have to congratulate me too quickly on getting my first F1 podium. I mean, I don't really care that Lucas Way retired, and but it's quite hard to overtake. He's not hard to overtake. We've done him enough round the outside this season. He's a walk through the park. But here we go then. This is the R&D. As it stands, we've got a healthy amount of points. We've actually achieved a team objective for once, which is something.
Great work this week.
As we go then into the next one. cheers, finally someone's realised that I got a podium. It wasn't, I thought it was just me, apparently it wasn't. It's good to see. So you can see here, these were the two that failed, the two we did in Belgium. So we're going to redo them and just, they'll come in for Singapore. And then we'll just see where things go from there, to be honest. We're going to do another upgrade on the other sides of the car as well. And that's pretty much it, guys, to be honest. You can see the trophy there, not just the bog standard what we've got for the other rounds of this season. But that is it for this video. I hope you enjoyed. If you did, comment what you thought of it, like and subscribe, all of that juicy stuff. But until Singapore, goodbye.